I'm happy to announce that I have partnered with a company called betus.com, where basically you can place bets and all that good stuff. And as you can see here, you go to this particular landing page here, and if you use my promo code TKT for the Clown Times, you'll get 125% of the sign-up bonus. As you see there as well, and you can, again, use promo code TKT. You get 125% sign-up bonus, and you can win up to you can bet up to $2,500 by clicking this Join Now button right here. So you see at the bottom, it's bet on the go. You can bet anywhere, anytime on your mobile device. Get your fast payouts, get paid immediately every time, and live betting, which means you can bet during the game, early and best lines. So remember, folks, go to betus.com where the game begins. What's up, guys? It's coming to you live on a pretty cold yet less icy and snowy Monday evening. I'm gonna weigh in on these coaching hires. I know it's been a minute. I didn't really talk about it since the last podcast. Actually, 2 podcasts ago, actually. But at any rate, look, I know that the NFL hired like a couple of coaches of color since Brian Flores brought this lawsuit to light. The Miami Dolphins hired Mike McDaniel, who identified himself as multiracial, whatever the hell that means. I think it's a fancy ass term for I'm black and something else. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And also the Houston Texans hiring Lovie Smith, a blast from the past, kind of sort of, right? Which makes Lovie the first brother to have head coaching stops at 3 different franchises. The Bears, who took the Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and of course, Texans. Which I think it was an odd enough hire of itself, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just afraid that this Lovie Smith hiring by the Texans is like Mike Culley, part 2, right? Or Dave Culley, should say, part 2. Because remember, they hired Culley last season, off season, only to fire him after this season. Even though he managed to get a team, talent-wise on paper, had 0-17 written all over it. He managed to get to the 4 wins, including wins over the Chargers, the Titans, and they were damn near in every other game this year. They played hard. And the young man who had quarterback, I don't have his name in front of me just now, but he helped him to be a decent player this year. But he's a rookie. But the Texans brass up to fire Culley instead. Even though they said that they got him, that he helped get the team on the right track, but they rewarded him by firing his ass anyway. I'll say this, but one more thing about the Texans. Might be the last thing about the Texans. Make no mistake, even though they did hire Lovie Smith, which I think is an odd hire. Quiet as kept, I think they really wanted to hire Josh McCown. Now, is that the same Josh McCown you may ask? Well, yes, it is. The same dude who played 1,000 years in the NFL, had like 50-11 stops, 50-11 different teams, and was less coaching, was seeing coaching in high school. But now as a head coach, as a quarterback's coach, which is correct. Which you're probably wondering, is you mean to tell me the Texans were about to hire a dude with no head coaching experience, who was even coaching on a high school team, who he wasn't even the head coach on the high school squad? The answer would be yes. They were about to hire a dude, or at least rumored to hire a dude, who not only had 0 head coaching experience, but was last seen coaching on a high school team as a quarterback's coach. So, but the Texans were about this close to hiring this dude. And I was checking out on social media last night when there was alleged between McCown and, believe it or not, Brian Flores, just for Texas to say, well, we did our due diligence. No, they're going to say that. A lot of Texans fans were about to jump the ship. They were about to jump off the cliff, man. And it was just hilarious yet sad as hell to watch. I just hope that this Lovie Smith hiring is not going to turn to a color hiring part two, because if it does, it's going to be just, and I'm not even sure, to be honest, if Lovie Smith's the right dude for the job. He's probably damn near 60, if not over 60. I mean, I'm not trying to age discriminate, but there are many more qualified black head coaches out there who hadn't even had an opportunity yet, unlike Lovie Smith. Now, I'll also say that I'm pretty glad that these young up-and-coming black coaches, soon-to-be head coaches, I mean, they're all coordinators right now, like the Byron Leftwich, Barry Bieniemy, a few others, like others who've coached before were still relatively young, Raheem Morris, those who've done it before, in addition to Lovie Smith, such as Jim Caldwell. I'm glad those guys are staying clear from the dumpster fire as the Texas organization. And, same can be made for the Dolphins. But, hey, at least Mike McDaniel not only is getting a team with a considerable amount of talent that has been coached up the last couple of seasons, but the man knows his hip hop. Apparently, while he's doing this interviewing process, a guy named Mike Jones going to interview him. When he introduced himself, McDaniels allegedly said, "Mike Jones." For those of you who know who Mike Jones is and knows a bit about hip hop, you're spot on. So McDaniel's got that going for it. So I should say McMichaels. No, just to make sure I got his name right, because I don't want to keep calling by Josh's last name. McDaniel, okay, that's right. McDaniel said McDaniels. Okay, I had it right. But anyway, the point is that at least McDaniel, multiracial Mike McDaniel, at least he has that going for him. So that's good for him, bully for him. So now we're going from 3 coaches of color, which was Mike Tomlin being the only brother out of the 3, Saleh in New York with the Jets, and Rivera in Washington. Those are the Commanders. We're now going from 3 to 5, including 3 brothers, head coaches. And I'll say this too, I gotta come clean with something. I was bitching long and hard about Jacksonville going away from Byron Leftwich and giving the job to Doug Peterson, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I will say this about Peterson. Well, 2 things. He won the Super Bowl with the Eagles. He has Super Bowl work. He's a made man. And he is an offensive guy, right? And he also, one more thing, he had a finish with a winning record in Philadelphia. So he has that going for him too. I mean, the man took Nick Foles to the Super Bowl and won it with him. That's how good of a job he did in Philly, even though he only saw the last year because of the tug of war with the Philadelphia front office, which is the dumpster fire. As far as the handling of Jalen, anyway, that dude, and like between him and Carson Wentz, it was just sad and comical in the end. So at least he's the hell out of Philly and into the dumpster fire. That's Jacksonville, nonetheless. So at least I'm kind of glad that Leftwich can go to that dumpster fire, even though he has a potential franchise quarterback to work with the kid from Clemson. His name escapes me at the moment, but Trevor Lawrence. So he has that going for him. So I could say that Jacksonville made a decent hire with Peterson. I can't really complain about that too much, but damn, right? I mean, aside from the hires of Mike McDaniel in Miami, and again, the very odd-ass hire of Lovie Smith in Houston. Come on. And I guess I kind of see the Giants hiring Mike Dable because for 2 reasons. One, Dable's offensive mind, he helped turn Josh Allen into a fucking stud. Okay, so then maybe they're thinking the same, or hoping the same, the Giants are, for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones from Duke University, right? And also the general manager that they just hired before, of course, Dable brought on, is from the Buffalo Bills organization. And you expect the connection between him and Brian Dable. There's a connection. I get it. I totally get it. I guess I'm just discouraged at this point. I mean, look, I don't know how long Lovie Smith's going to last in Houston. I mean, Houston's a fucking dumpster fire, like I keep saying in this video. But we'll see. I mean, Dennis Allen got the job and head coaching job in New Orleans. I can kind of see that because Dennis Allen's been the right-hand man of Sean Payton since the beginning of forever, seems like, right? So I get that. Continuity. I get that if you're a Saints fan, if you remember the organization. I just wonder, with all these hires going around, I just wonder if Raheem Morris is going to get another shot, if Todd Bowles is going to get another shot, and if Byron Rivers is going to get a shot, period, as well as Eric Bieniemy. I wonder if the league knows something about Eric Bieniemy that I don't, but who knows? But I just keep hope alive. I'm hoping that these coaching hires work out. You know, I don't want to see any coach fail, believe it or not. Hope that Mike McDaniel does a damn good job in Miami. I hope that Lovie Smith justifies an odd hire of Houston. And I want all these coaches to do well. Brian Dable, dude in Denver who's from the Packers organization. I want them all to do well. But I mean, even Josh McDaniels, I mean, which is again as a head scratcher that A, he got fired for cheating in Denver. B, he stood up the Indianapolis coach when he accepted the job offer, only to go run tail, go back to New England to get a third opportunity. I don't know, it must be nice, I guess.